back to a time and a place.
Yeah, it's called nostalgia.
But
Yeah.
do you believe this, and can you understand why, for example, as Yeats said, tread softly for you tread on my dreams?
Well, I mean, I can understand nostalgia, certainly. Yeah, but I think the way I would look at it, I mean, I read something that Roy Orbison said about, he was asked about his like old recordings, and you know, that they were like written, you know, whether the guy that was asking the question implied that it was like adolescent, but Roy Orbison had a really interesting answer. He said that he thought it was they were written from the angle of somewhat being somewhat innocent, and that was a quality that he liked about them. So if you could separate the nostalgia, separate that from the nostalgia, or pure, whatever it is, innocent, I think, meaning pure, then you get the essence of it.
But can you respect that?
But some people just like them for pure nostalgia, but I don't think, I mean, I don't go with that one.
Yeah, but you must remember that the people who buy your songs, I mean, there are people who a song of yours can bring back a certain very happy period in their life.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And this is probably why they want...
Oh, yeah, of course it is. Of course it is.
Do you record to play or play to record, or do you make any distinction between the two?
Well, I think it goes in phases. So sometimes I just get into sort of playing live. There's like a period of like 18 months, so by 91, 92, where I just played live mainly. Didn't record at all, so it was like a phase. Might be other phases I just record and don't play live, or a mixture of both.
Is it when you're actually in front of a live audience and you can feel the energy, is that what you feel? The culmination of, say, being in studio happens?
No, it's a completely different thing. Studio comes just from writing the songs, basically, or doing songs that I, like, you know, want to sing. Either my songs or other people's songs I want to sing. It comes from that, basically. I feel like, you know, I have something to say, or something inspires me. Comes from that. It's a separate thing, really.
Do you think that songs always keep on growing in a live environment?
Well, that always happens. That's the nature of performing. It's inevitable. They have to.
All
Either you go
songs?
forward or go backwards. They have to.
It's a marvelous night for a moon dance with the stars up above in your eyes. Fantabulous night to make a romance beneath the cover of October skies. Yet all the leaves on the trees are falling to the sound of the breezes that blow. Yet I'm trying to please to the calling of your heartstrings that play soft and low, and all the nice magic. I think you whisper and whisper. All that's up my life seems to shine in your blood. I can't wait to have one more dance with you, my love. Can't wait to face some more romance with you, my love.
I mean, songs are just ideas that you're working with at the time, and then you get them thrown back at you. But how I sort of gauge it now is that some of the songs I've written and recorded I don't do anymore, say, live. So I tend to go with what I'm doing live is where I'm at. That's how I gauge it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the average follower of yours sometimes wants the songs like Gloria, Brown Eyed Girl. They seem to want that in the audience, and that seems to annoy you, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't annoy me. It's just that it's so long ago and I'm not there. It doesn't annoy me. It's just I've moved on a lot since then, you know.
So sometimes when you sing Gloria, maybe if you don't want to do it, it brings back to them a certain memory.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, I'm the same. If I go and see Ray Charles, I mean, I want to hear what did I say, but he's probably sick of it. You know? you know, luckily enough, I mean, I've had a turnover where a lot of my audience is younger now. So I'm getting a turnover where they never heard of all this old stuff, you know? I mean, they come in at a different time period and with a different set of myths, you know, than people, say, coming in the 60s or 70s, whatever, you know? So, I mean, these younger fans, I mean, they never heard about that stuff, so, you know, it means nothing to them. They're coming fresh.
But you wouldn't write the same now, would you?
No, because I think that changes with age, you know. I think that's an age factor. And I mean, other people have talked about this too. I mean, Dylan talks about this as well. It's like, there's a time when, you know, you change consciousness at certain stages in your life. And, I mean, you can't write the same at 40 as you did when you're 21 because your consciousness changed.
For sure.
You know, your mind changes. So it's impossible. I mean, that kind of writing was more like done without any analysis or any overall awareness. It just, you know, came out probably most of it unedited. You know, very little editing, and it just comes out the way it is. But then you're very young and naive and fresh.
Idealistic?
No, I wasn't idealistic, but I was young and fresh and naive, probably.
When did you actually start writing?
Well, I can remember first writing things, you know, like in notebooks when I was at school. I mean, I can't remember the exact age. It might have been 14 or something. Might have been about 14. But they weren't songs, more like poems at first. That's my first memory.
Do you regard yourself more as a poet or a musician?
No, I regard myself as a singer, musician, and a songwriter. You know, I don't like to fall into the trap of. I think poet is too categorized.
Is Bob Dylan a poet?
Oh, Bob Dylan's a poet, but what I'm saying is, you see, there's like everything. There's so many games going on, and poetry has its games as well. You know, where a lot of people like to separate the thing and say, well, you know, there's words on their own, you know, and that's poetry, you know, and then you've got songs and that's lyrics, and you have these kind of, you know, games going on in poetry in academic circles and sometimes non-academic circles. So, I mean, you know, to me it's all the same. You know, words are words with or without music. But I don't see, there's no benefit for me to say I'm a poet whatsoever.
Yeah, there's a long way to Buffalo. It's a long way to Belfast, Pt2. And I'm hoping the Joyce won't blow the hoist. 'Cause this time we bit off much more than we can chew. Yeah, we get that on. 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 Send down the next preview. Send down the next preview. Say it one more time again. Send down the next preview.
Music was like all around me, actually. I mean, there was a lot of, just down the street, there's a guy like, who used to play country and western music all day, all the time, and leave the door open. So I heard this music when I was a kid. Hank Williams and these people. He just like put this on and left the door open so you could hear it down the street.
Hindfoot Street?
Yeah, and next door, there's a guy next door, and used to have sessions on the weekends outside, out the back. We like had back entries, and used to have like a lot of singers would gather together and sing just out the back. So this all was going on all around me.
Didn't you used to sing with your mom?
Yeah.
She was a big influence on you?
Well, I think more the music I heard was the influence. I mean, she could have been an influence, but she was influenced by that music as well. You know, we were both influenced by that music because she heard it as well. Apparently, the Ports played a big role in music coming in from America, for instance, like say black music, whatever. And there was like, I mean, when I was a kid, there was always American ships coming in. Belfast when I was a kid. Remember that?
Well, I'm caught one more time. Way up on Cypress Avenue. Well, I'm caught one more time. Way up on Cypress Avenue. You know, I'm caught in the car, see. And I'm looking straight at you.
And then your dad worked in the Holland Wharf shipyard, and he was a collector, an avid collector, wasn't he?
Yeah. But he wasn't a collector in the sense of he was more of, I mean, I think I've got that maybe a bit wrong. He was actually just, he loved the music more than being a collector. He loved the music, you know.
But didn't he have music that no one else had in, say, in Hindford Street?
Oh yeah, but it was, yeah, he did. Nobody else in Hindford Street had it, no.
Was he a big influence on you?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Your father's collection, is it still in one piece?
No, I don't think so. No, various bits and pieces got lost or whatever.
Who was the first?
I've got some of it.
You do?
Yeah.
Who was the first singer he introduced you to? Or taking...
First singer,
Or who do you remember him listening to?
The first... Well, I remember, I remember Bing Crosby or something was the first singer, I think, I remember. And then Mahalia Jackson. Gospel music, I remember, was the first stuff I heard, I think, at that time.
Through your father?
I remember, and a lot of, like, country and western as well. Remember that, too, hearing country music. Yeah.
Was that unusual in that time for your father to be listening to music?
It wasn't really that unusual. What was unusual was the blues part of it.
Can you ever see yourself ever giving up?
Well, I can't see giving up singing because I I was doing it when I didn't even know that it was going to become a career, a job or anything. I mean, I was singing from when I was 3. People tell me so. It's a natural thing I was born with to do.
How sure were you, and when did you become so convinced that you were going to be a musician?
Just before I left school.
What age was that?
I was about just over 15 when I left school.
Okay, it's one thing to say to yourself, okay, I'm going to be a musician, and quite another thing to say it and then go out and do it. Did you actually tell people that you were going to be, and how did they react then?
Well, a lot of them, thought it was a joke, especially in school. I mean, in school, because, nobody in my class that I was in was going to become a musician. They thought they would become other things, but, they just didn't treat it the same way. They couldn't relate to it on that level. But then again, how can a 15-year-old relate on that level?
Did you just know?
Because they hadn't heard the music I'd heard anyway,
How different is Belfast of today to the Belfast of your childhood?
Oh, very different, very different. I mean, when I was growing up there, I mean, well, for a start, people were living together. You didn't have this separatist thing. People were living together. So it's completely different now.
Much more freedom?
Yeah.
Is it all changed?
Oh, from then, yeah. It's completely changed from then, yeah.
Take me back. Take me way, way, way back. On Hindford Street, where you could feel the silence at 11:30 on long summer nights. As the wireless played Radio Luxembourg and the voices whispered across Beachy River. In the quietness as we sank into restful slumber in the silence. And carried on dreaming in God. It walks up Cherry Valley from North Road Bridge, railway line on sunny summer afternoons, picking apples from the side of the tracks that spilled